quick because I just made a huge order to get some of the canvas sizes that I wanted. But you can get this thick canvas at your local Michael's and at, hey Tina, and at Hobby Lobby too. And often on sale in both places. Hey G, I've missed you too. I've missed you too, girl. So we're going to use this 8x10 canvas. We're just going to put a quick little background. Barbara, I got my stone off Amazon, and it's just a knife sharpening stone. You can get these at the dollar store though. Go to the kitchen department and you can get that right there at the dollar store. It's just a knife sharpener. Okay, so 8x10 canvas. Let's go ahead and just get a little bit of paint on our canvas. Hey, Oregon. And I'm gonna start with a little bit of Anita's white. We're gonna get some of that on the canvas. Hopefully that's enough. I'm also gonna add a little bit of pearl. It's actually Anita's metallic, makeup on my hand, metallic white. So it's a pearl color. Hey, Debbie. Hello, Carlotta. How are you? And I'm going to add a tiny amount of a blue for my sky. It's kind of a winter sky. This is sky blue. So we'll add a little bit of that. We don't need but a touch. And I'm gonna grab a little bit of a bigger brush. Oh, these ones? Why is that driving you crazy? It's 12. It looks like 17, but it's 12 times 6. So let's just do this. Let's do that. There you go. So I'm going to use like a 1-inch brush so that we can cover the background fairly quickly. Was it that it looked like the wrong math? That's funny. I'm going to start with my white, and I'm just going to really quickly get it on the top surface of my canvas. Just get it covered willy-nilly. Doesn't have to be methodical. You don't have to. I knew, actually, the minute you said my math was driving you crazy, I knew that you thought it was 17. I knew you thought I did bad math. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my whole canvas in the white. Then I'm going to actually add a little bit of blue to my brush. Hey, Paula. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to my brush. I'm just going to put a tiny amount on my brush and then just kind of work it in. And then I'm just going to make some X's. Just crisscross all the way around. I like highs and lows in my background. I don't want one solid color, but you do you. I'm gonna do me every day. So I'm just gonna crisscross and give myself a nice little, yeah, the Common Core map, a nice little blue sky. Oops, I almost went in the wrong color. And I'm gonna stop close to the bottom. And I'm gonna offload some of that blue off my brush. Oh, I do need a calculator. And you know what? My degree is in accounting, so that's how bad I am. So now I'm gonna get some of this pearl, and I'm just going to make myself a little bit of a pearl snow heel. So don't make it straight across. Give it a little bit of a heel, kind of go upward. And that is all. That is, look how much paint I put on my palette. Terrible, what a waste. What a waste, what a waste. I'll use that. So now, oh, I haven't seen the self-checkouts, Jerry. They don't have that at my Michael's. I'm gonna grab my heat gun. We're gonna get this dried up so we can get started on our glass. The blue color is called sky blue. Any pale, smoky blue will work. You don't really have to use the same thing. I encourage you always to just use what you have because it's not really, in the grand scheme of things, using the exact same color does not make any difference whatsoever. So we're gonna get this dry. I've got it on low so it doesn't burn up the canvas. We'll get it dry, I think. I got it pretty thick down here at the bottom, so might take a few seconds. This is called Seek 1, S-E-E-K 1 heat gun, Amazon. Not a fan of self-checkout either, but I do find that people who work in those types of stores are fairly grumpy. And let me just tell you guys this. I'm being perfectly honest. I don't shop. I do not shop. I buy my groceries. I have a Shipt app. I buy my groceries and they deliver them to my door. I order Target stuff and pick it up. I don't go in the stores, so I don't have to worry about that. A friend of mine made this for me, Charlotte. It's a little acrylic base with my name cut out on it. Is that not adorable? So somebody made that for me. So I think we're dry. We're going to give it a few seconds just to cool off. And that's all the painting we're going to do, guys. That is how, well, that's not true. I'm going to make a stem. I need a brown. Hang on. I want a stem for my tree or a trunk. So let's grab some brown and let's get traditional burnt umber. We'll add that back to our palette. So just any chocolatey brown will do. Let's add that. Yeah, I just don't shop, y'all. If I can't get it on Amazon or if you can't deliver it to my door, I'm not gonna have it, pretty much. Not gonna have it. Okay, so I have traditional burnt umber, and this is just a size 6 round brush. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a tree trunk, or just whatever you want to call that. I don't know why my words don't want to work today. Just something to go off of our tree branches and stuff. So I'm going to start kind of in the middle. If it's not perfect, I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to really lightly touch about 2 inches down. And as I get closer to the bottom, I'm going to press down and try to make it as irregular as you can. Oh, you need a little more brown. I think I'll come up from the bottom this time. I'm going to turn it so you can see, so my hand's not blocking. So we're going to start about right here. I'm going to press down pretty good and then just kind of let back up as I connect. So you want the bottom to be thicker, obviously. I'm going to give it a little bit of a curve out, a little bit thicker than the rest of your tree. So that is all the painting. Thank you for the stars, ladies. So, I mean, can you paint that? I think you can. I think every single one of you can paint that easily. Now, I want to grab another plate because I am going to show you my nips. Can you see them? Can y'all see my little nips over? I'm going to scoot my camera over just for a second. Let's see. Can y'all see my nips right here? Every bit of this came from this vase, okay? One vase, $3. Thank you, Charlotte. I'm going to move my art piece out of the way somewhere. I don't know where. And I am going to cut over my plate so I don't have glass everywhere. I'm going to cut some nips using my, I'm going to go ahead and use these. That is about the only store I go in, Dee, is Hobby Lobby. I will order it online if I can, but you know, sometimes they don't have all the things online or you don't know exactly what you're looking for. You know, sometimes you have to let the things there tell you what to buy. But, so yeah, I will go in Hobby Lobby all day long and yeah, and let them tell me what I need. So one vase, just take the string off and you could reuse that on something. It's super cute. A little wood Christmas tree, just save that. And I'm gonna use my wheeled nippers. These are the ones from the Home Depot. And I'm gonna hold my vase sideways, okay? You're not going straight up and down like this. You're not doing that. You hold your vase sideways and you're going to cut around. I'm gonna stand up so my face is not so close to the glass, but I'm going to hold my nippers vertical to my vase and squeeze. And then I end up with this shape, okay? It's a curved shape that's almost like a leaf or a branch or something like this, okay? If you need to practice, go get something cheap from the Goodwill or something like that to practice with. So I'm just gonna cut a few nips, squeeze, and I'm gonna go around and around. Squeeze, that's a great one. Squeeze. So you can go around and around your vase. Oh, and you know what? I don't mind that at all. It just kind of helped me with this. So I'm just gonna do this. Don't panic if yours does that. Just start over. Wear gloves, don't be mean, and potentially cut yourself, because this, until you hone it, it is going to have some sharp points. I don't micromanage my little pieces and my bits. I cut it, and whatever happens, happens, all right? So what I've done is cut the entire vase, and I did poke myself because these points are super sharp, all right? So real quick, I'm gonna set this aside, and I'm going to dust off because we got some little nips. I'll set my vase aside, and I'm gonna show you real quick how I get rid of those points. And then we're gonna make a Christmas tree. We'll cover up those numbers so nobody panics. So honing stone, knife sharpening stone, a brick will even work. If you don't have any of those, you can go outside, sit on the sidewalk with a little bucket, and just, the point, just scrape it once or twice, scrape it once or twice, go to the next one, scrape it once or twice. Those points are what are gonna get you, all right? See how pointy that is? Boom, 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 boom. The gloves that I use, you can use pretty much anything that's coated. Let me get this off of here again. But I will show you the gloves that I use. I bought them at Walmart in Georgia 10 years ago probably, but I still use them. I actually use them today. But any glove that looks like this, okay? It's got this coating on one side that the glass won't cut through, all right? Perfect for cutting glass because you can hold that glass without cutting your hands. So that's what I use for that. Okay, so we're gonna get our canvas back over here, and it is dry. Our stem or our trunk is dry, and so we're gonna go ahead and start adding our glass. Now, if you can see over here on my table, hey, yay, Wendy, that's awesome. I have my glass lined up. I went through and I honed all the Sharpie points, and I went through and I lined them up small to large, okay? I don't know what I did with my, I had one that I was going to use for the top. I thought I kept it separate, but apparently I did not. So I'm gonna find something. I really wanted it to be super whimsical. So I'm gonna find a piece for the top, and it's gonna lean over like that, okay? So I've got all my pieces lined up by size. So we're gonna start at the top with the smaller ones, and we are going to work our way down the tree. So I'm just gonna take 2 of the smaller bits, and I'm gonna actually put just a tiny bit of glue Thank you for the stars, guys. Thank you, Ann Davis Autry and Jane. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on each side of my tree trunk just to kind of help keep things in place while we jiggle around, okay? So I'm gonna just start here and lay those little pieces in. And you may have to jiggle with them a little bit to get them to lay the way you want. Hang on, my old fumble fingers. There we go. And I'm gonna get 2 more and we're gonna build on, okay? We're just going to add another nip and another nip, and you can overlap these, lay them on top of each other, and we'll add probably a couple little babies at the end. So I'm gonna get 2 more. We're going to overlap, one over the other. I didn't practice this, guys, so bear with me. And we're gonna just keep going. Overlap. So you want it to get bigger and bigger. I'm gonna skip that one, it's kind of funky looking. So we're gonna do that. We're just gonna keep, this one is weird too. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. You could even, if you're worried about seeing the canvas through your tree, you could even add a few little green strokes with your paintbrush, but I'm not stressing about it. I'm just gonna have a good time. All right, we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna actually double up on this side, and I'm gonna do it again and kind of double up and overlap. Every few, maybe every 3 or 4, we'll come in with this piece. I kind of want that. I got my thumb in the glue. Come on. And this is just any clear drying glue will work, all right? So we'll get this piece in, and we'll get this piece in. I love this piece. I'm gonna tuck it under a little. I'm not sure I like this piece anymore. So you can just play with it until you kind of have what you want. Oh my goodness. This is so cute, y'all. And this is, we're getting to the bigger pieces down here at the bottom. And I think that was my original Big O, Big O. I actually want, where'd I put my glass? I actually want to see if, all right, I'm going to use this. I'm going to hone it real quick. I just got a cute little piece from, because I shorted myself one. So we're going to do that one. I'm going to move this one down here. Let it overlap, and this cutie is going to be the top of my tree. Now what I'm gonna do is take my nippers again, and I'm gonna take a couple of these smaller pieces that we just cut, and these work really well. These are the Hobby or the Home Depot nippers, and they work really well. So I'm just gonna cut a few of the smaller bits and add to the top. And see, that's not even shaped in like the typical branch shape, but we don't care. It's a Christmas tree. Nobody said any Christmas tree was perfectly shaped. I'm gonna do one more. I'm just gonna nip it in half. And I'm gonna tuck that in right up here. And, oh, I need that one pretty pointy. I'm gonna tuck this one in right up here. And now, look at our Christmas tree. That is so stinking cute. I cannot even stand it. I love this so much. I'm gonna move my glass. And see, guys, it literally took one vase to do this whole thing. One vase. Now we are going to do some other things to it. I'm actually going to grab some clear glass from my stash. And I'm going to add some clear to the bottom. We'll just shake out however much into my lap. Just totally dumped it in my lap. Just shape out a few little nuggets. And we're going to use some seed beads too, but we're going to save that till we resin. So just kind of bring your snow down a little. And we're going to resin. We're going to resin this like it is. And then I have some little jewel glass beads or plastic beads from Hobby Lobby that we can add. And we're going to add some seed beads like snow as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and mix some resin. I'm going to mix 2 ounces. Don't think it's going to take 2 ounces, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I have plenty of things I can use that on when it's done. Is this not cute? It would be super cute too if you just added some, before you do your glass, you added a few little strokes of green into the, onto your background. So I'm gonna mark 1 ounce on this cup and 1 ounce on this cup. We are gonna pour us some resin. Let me get my gloves, my mixie cup. This is my cup. I actually might have to use something else because this cup I left, can you see in there where I left, let me see if I can show you. I left my silicone brush in there, right there, and it made this huge, I can't see, made a huge little dent in my mixie cup. So I'm probably not gonna be able to use that, but I have another. It's just got layers and layers and layers and layers of resin inside there. So let me grab my gloves. We'll pour us some resin up. Mine are all in, Barbara, mine all have metric and ounces. This has ounces, cc's, tablespoons, and drams. So you should be able to get those at Hobby Lobby even, or Amazon. Just make sure it has ounces on it. But I've never gotten one that didn't say have ounces on it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna scooch this towards me a little. So we're gonna pour 1 ounce of hardener in this cup. And Patsy, what do you ask me about pieces of resin in my cup? No, I just don't peel it out. And so when, I know it's pretty solid. If I thought it was going to be lifting in there, I would definitely peel it out. But you can totally just pick it and peel out the resin to have a clean cup again. All right, so we're doing 1 ounce of resin to mix with our hardener. Probably way more than we're gonna need, but that's okay, we got trees. We got trees to do, all right? So now I'm going to use my little palette knife because it gets in the corners in these little bitty cups better. So I'm just gonna dump it into my mixie cup. And we couldn't live without Gina's wipes. I know I couldn't. I appreciate those wipes more than you will ever know. So I'm just scraping out all that resin into my mixie cup. You can save these little baby cups. Yeah, you don't want to measure or use a scale with art resin. Not all resins are created equal, guys, and you need to follow the directions on whatever resin you're using. You cannot use a scale because the hardener weighs more than the resin, and then you will have a hot, sticky mess on your hands. So don't do that. Not with this product. All right? So I'm going to set that aside. You can totally take one of Gina's wipes or alcohol wipes or mixed media artist wipes and wipe that cup right out. So now I have my mixie cup, which I have used 100 times. It's got so much resin on it. It's just hanging off the sides here. Let me throw that away. So we're going to stir this for 3 minutes. And I mean stir. We're going to just stir it around, scrape the bottom, scrape the sides, and we're going to do that very gently and lovely for 3 minutes. Somebody posted an angry face. If you're angry, can you share that anger? Can you let us know what you're mad about so we can maybe make it better? I don't know. Maybe it was an accident. The wipes are, Catherine, will you post, if you haven't already, will you post a link to G's wipes so that everyone can take advantage of that amazingness? These come from thepaintstore.com. The big cups do. Thank you for the stars, Susan. Thank you, Elizabeth. They must be clearancing that, Betty, because on according to Art Resin, you're not supposed to sell it lower than the manufacturer suggested retail. That is terms that you have to agree to with Art Resin. So I don't know if they're just not going to sell it anymore, but that is against policy, but you know, whatever. You cannot keep resin from making bubbles, Kay. Anytime you mix two liquids or liquid forms together and stir, you are going to create bubbles. You're just incorporating air as you mix in turn. So you're always going to get bubbles. The way to minimize that is to make sure your resin stays in a warm room and that you're mixing in a warm room. And you can use a heat gun to pop those bubbles when they do pop up. This is called a silicone applicator. This thingy here, I love it because you can, if the resin dries on it, you can just peel it off, or you can just wipe it off with one of Gina's wipes and move on with your life. There's no waste. You're not like using sticks and throwing them away. Hey, Marty. Hey, Boo, how are you? Silver glass used on other products. Are you talking about Vitrograph, Deanna? I think what you're talking about is Vitrograph on Etsy. The little strings of glass. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. Y'all, my iPad, which is what I'm reading from, is a few seconds behind, obviously. So there's a slight delay here. So just keep stirring, scrape the sides, scrape the bottom. Okay, scrape the bottom. Thank you, Catherine, for letting me know. I'm just going to scrape again one more time. Scrape the bottom of your cup. Rub the applicator on the cup. Scrape the sides again. Make sure it's all good and mixed, okay? So now I'm just going to start applying my resin to my piece, okay? I'm going to start just drizzling right over each of these little pieces of glass. And we're going to let the resin do its thing. It self-levels and it's liquid. It's a liquid, so it runs over the glass and down to the canvas and adheres all the glass to our canvas. So we're just going to let it do what it does best. bits. Oops, I bumped that one. That's okay. We can fix anything that kind of goes crazy and gets out of shape. We can fix when we're done with our resin. This is super cute. It's almost Grinch-esque. I love how the top just turns down. So just drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Get all your bits covered. I really like to make sure that the points on the end of each piece are nice and covered so that after you hone, if you miss one little smidgy, at least the resin will help tone that down. I'm pretty good at getting my points because I've been cut by one of those points before and it is not fun. So just drizzle. It may take all 4 ounces. Get down to the bottom. Don't forget to do your bigger pieces at the bottom and your smaller pieces at the top so you can form the correct shape for your tree. And almost done. We're at the end. This is so pretty, y'all. Put the mercury glass. This vase is kind of has a frosted look to it. And once you pour, hey Sherry, once you pour the resin on, it turns kind of a clear, shiny glass. And I actually like it better. It's so pretty. Now let's get the crushed glass snow at the bottom. It really sparkles, really gives off that Christmassy look. So let's get that resin. Now at this point, once you have all your resin on, you're gonna take your applicator and you're gonna spread the resin around over your entire canvas. It self-levels anyway, so you might as well do it. It's gonna run over in those spots. So I'm just gonna take my applicator and make sure everything's covered all the way to the edge. And I can get close to those glass bits. I see I have debris. I can get close to those glass bits and totally scoop out any like excess. This is gonna take all 2 ounces. So I'm gonna use my applicator to just pull from the center to the edge. Center to the edge. You can also just use your fingers to the edge. And if you wiggle a little piece out of place, don't worry about it. You can, when you're done, you can come back and totally just push it back into its correct place. So pull to the edge. I do have some junk. So I probably have a teaspoon left, full 2 ounces. I'm gonna grab my little pick and I'm gonna get whatever that is. It probably came off the glass when I was nipping, or you know, just from the air moving around in here. So I'm just gonna take my finger and I'm gonna go around the edge of my canvas. I like to think it kind of seals that off, that edge. And I'm gonna look at it and make sure there's no more debris. Here's a little sparkle of something. And no junk. And make sure I haven't skipped any spots. So I'm gonna turn it a little bit. Look at it, it looks completely covered to me. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this real quick, real quick with my heat gun. I'm gonna take my gloves off. And I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun real quick to pop any of those bubbles. Now, when you're using the heat, you wanna keep going. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. You don't wanna focus on one spot. You wanna keep that heat moving so that you're not burning your canvas or the resin. It will pop those bubbles. You can even come back, let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes and come back and hit it with the heat gun again. Now I have some of these cute little beads that I was gonna put in my tree, but now I'm wondering if I just want red. And I wanna fix this back too. Scoot back down where you belong, buddy. I'm kind of thinking about just adding red. You can use a hair dryer, but you want it on low air and high heat. I think I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna add red. I'm gonna try to keep these red ones. I got a bunch of red, so I'm gonna kind of make those. I'm not very good at Christmas tree decorating, y'all. And I have white ones. We'll add a couple whites or clear here and there. I'm just gonna add some of these beads. You could decorate your tree any way you wish. We'll add that. We may drizzle, since I have a teeny bit of resin left, we may drizzle some of that in on top of these beads. Let's see, red. And I'm gonna add some of these clear. So any little beads, any little ornaments, you could do seed beads, anything that makes your little heart happy. Here's some green ones. I like to get stuff from like the jewelry department at Lowe's Lowe's, good Lord, at Hobby Lobby or Michael's to decorate my trees with. I want that to be where I want it to be, and it doesn't want to go there. So any of those string beads are work really well. Let's add a few more. Got a green one. Let's throw him right in there. And I don't like the other ones. I don't want to put orange in my tree. But we do have a couple of clear. And you could totally sprinkle seed beads in as well. Let's see, I'm gonna dump those. So I do have some seed beads. Where'd they go? These are seed beads from Hobby Lobby. They are transparent crystal. Real quick, I'm gonna grab this up. I'm just gonna drizzle. Oh, I dumped my beads in the wet resin instead of this container where my beads were supposed to go. So now my beads are going to be in the resin. Look, it's in the resin. That's how crazy I am. We'll just cover those beads a little. Make sure they stick nicely, and it also makes them shiny. I'm gonna have to dump those on something. Is that not hilarious? I was like, I picked up the resin cup and I was like, what are these beads doing in here? Well, you silly goose, you threw them in there. Thinking I was throwing them in this cup. Roberta, why didn't you tell me? Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look. Okay. That's hilarious. I'm going to throw them on something before I'm done. Okay, so just add that. Now I can take my clear seed beads. That's what happens when you have too many cups on your table. You do crazy things. I'm gonna take some of these clear translucent seed beads, and I do crazy stuff like that all the time, y'all. Y'all just don't have the opportunity to see it very often. I almost put that back in there too. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some of these and just wiggle them onto my canvas. Take them in your fingers. It's because I'm crazy, y'all. It's because I get so focused on what I'm doing that I don't really pay attention to anything else. So you can add some of these. I'm gonna add some down here to my snow. I'm just gonna wiggle them out this way. just to give it a little extra sparkle. And I'm gonna tap a little into my Christmas tree. And you know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go grab some red seed beads because I'm just feeling the red and green today. So I'm gonna grab some of those. And we're gonna add some of those as well. And then I think we'll be done. Actually, let me see. Let's get another cup. And I'm gonna show you this up close and personal too, so you can see what we got. So these are called SL Dark. That means Silver Line Dark. And they're 12-0, which is small. It's the tiny ones. So I'm just going to tap and sprinkle some red right onto my Christmas tree. I like to put them in something like this and just tap because you have a little more control that way. And if you get some that go rogue and go out on your canvas, you can take a little toothpick, or I like this little stick that Lou gave me, and I'm just gonna grab them up and put them where they belong. Get back where you belong, buddy. Come on, little buddy. And just kind of scooch them back over to your tree. Or you could leave them. There we go. And you down here in the snow. Get back where you belong. So I want to show you this close up. So you can add any color beads. I feel like I ought to just dump these. Do y'all think I should just dump these on my tree too? The yellow and the pink and the blue. Give me some heart, or give me some thumbs up if you think I should just dump these beads on my tree as well. Give me thumbs. If you think I ought to leave it alone. See? Thumbs? Yeah, let's go ahead. Why not, right? They're already in the cup. They're already covered with resin. So let's see if we can just drop one or two here and there. Lee, if you're watching, get over there. So oh, these kind of look cute. I'm not mad at all. Look, y'all. I mean, they were covered in resin anyway, so why not, right? I'm going to show you this close up in just a second so you can see what's happening. We'll just add these right to the mix. I can't believe I did that. Yes, I can. I don't know what I'm talking about. I can totally believe I did it. It's so typical. Y'all normally just don't get to see the craziness that is me. All right, that actually looks even better. Okay, so I'm gonna grab something real quick because I've been ruining my silicone brushes by not cleaning them off. So you can take these wipes that Miss Gina sells, and I'm gonna wipe my hands off first. Just wipe off your silicone brush. Don't panic if you don't wipe it off though, because you can totally peel that off after it's dry. I'm gonna set this over here so I don't do that boo-boo again. And I'm gonna show you close up and personal this tree. Looky here. I'm gonna turn it sideways a little bit so you can get the whole tree. But the resin on those pink and yellow beads, the resin toned it down a little bit, and it actually looks pretty good, right? I was hesitant myself, but check it out. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Woohoo! Me like it. I love it. So don't hold yourself back. Feel free and let it go and just add whatever you think would be super cute. We were all wrong, weren't we? Something that would be super cute to decorate your tree with, or you could leave it just as it is.